So let's talk about your reputation or your brand as an interviewer. Welcome back to 101 Tips for Interviewing and Interrogation. This is tip number 46. Welcome back to tip number 46 of 101 Tips for Interviewing and Interrogation. I'm your host, Stan Walters. I want to talk to you about your reputation or your brand, if you will, it's a term for it, as the interviewer. Now, your brand is essentially your reputation and what you will become known for or what you're known as. So you can have a brand that's tainted or destroyed, for example, as a product that's gone bad or defective, or a restaurant that's had a problem with, E. coli infection, things like that. So that really ruins your brand. But you have a brand in the interview room. Now, there's a lot of things that go into play here. First of all, this is just a little peek, and we're going to talk about this more in some upcoming episodes, about the concept of influence. One of the important things of influence is that when people look for solutions to make decisions, look for advice or sources to help them make the decision, there's several different factors. But one of the things to do when they're talking to someone and they wish to take or determine whether they're going to take that person's advice, they have to understand that they've developed a like connection with them, L-I-K-E, like. Is this person like me? Do I like them? And do they like me? So that plays a long way whether this person intends to cooperate. We talked a little bit earlier in previous episodes that the number of subjects when they were talked to in a huge study in 4 different cities in different countries, that they decided whether they were going to lie or tell the truth prior to coming into the room. Those interviewers or subjects that were being interviewed who said that they would talk said that the one caveat was that that the interviewer treated the subject with respect and was going to listen to the subject. Under those conditions, they would talk. So what is your brand? What is your reputation? Now, I know there's a lot of folks that are going to wonder about, well, you should dominate the subject. And I've heard this a couple of feedbacks a while ago about when I was talking about anger. You got to show them who's in charge. Let me tell you, if you're going in with anger, and you plan to dominate this person, you're trying to control them, you want to try to crush them, demoralize them, then you need to give up. Get the hell out of my interview room, because all you're doing is you're going for your own self-satisfaction and your own glory. I do not need you as an interrogator. So you need to think about what you're doing. I've seen more interviews ruined and destroyed by interviewers who come in with the whole idea that I will dominate him, that I will prejudge them. And they lose the information. They made themselves feel good, but they missed every piece of information that was necessary to forward a prosecution or a conclusion or closure to this case. So understand that you have to always have a professional bearing or brand in the room, that you will not resort to coercive type tactics with the subject, that you will not manipulate the subject, that you are patient, that you will listen to what the subject says, that you'll allow them to make a statement, allow them to respond, that you use a narrative-based interview in the interview room, that you will not treat them with disrespect or hostility. Let me give an example. In my little town here in Versailles, Kentucky, Woodford County, this past week we had a horrific burglary, a home invasion, and a 6-year-old boy was stabbed to death by the intruder. Horrific crime, made national news, made international news. And this week we have seen stories all the way far out as Europe coming in about this story. Can you imagine the environment in the room when they talk to the subject? Can you imagine the level of emotion that's going on with the interviewer? You cannot let your emotion take over. You cannot, we'd like to really dominate this guy and to control him and put him in his place. But you're going to sacrifice your information and possibly sacrifice that interview. So think about the brand you carry. Now, there's 2 important points in a brand. It's that first impression and the last impression they have of you. That's the 2 points to remember. What were you like when you came in? I know this person maybe have done a criminal act, may have done horrific things. But the people who win in the room are the victims who cannot speak for themselves. And you represent that person. And your professionalism is on the line. Do you give the subject an opportunity to explain his point of view? You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. It's not your job. It's not to judge. That's for the jury and the court to decide. Collect and always think of information. Stay in control of your emotions. Stay objective. Connect with your subject. Elicit information from them. Listen to them. Allow them their point of view, right or wrong. You don't have to pass judgment, condemn right or not. The best interviewers are the ones who do not have to force the subject into talking. It's the interviewer who persuades the subject that it's in their best interest to do so. That's the brand you want. That brand, by the way, will be passed around in two other population groups. Number one, the professionals and the other courts that you work with. And you're consistent each time you do the interview. But the word will also be out within the community, the criminal community, as to how you treat the subject, if you're fair, if you listen to them. And how many times have we all come back and had the same person again? And they'll remember the quality of character you demonstrated. Look at your brand. What do you represent? It's critical to the success of the interviewer. To add more information to that, be sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got more stuff here, and I'm trying to get these in 5 to 7 little minute videos of extremely valuable information to provoke your thoughts. Please hit the like button, and please comment below. I'm sure there's folks that disagree with me, but I can tell you that I'm right. Be sure to check over here for the Pocket Guide. Be sure to check for on-demand courses that you can take. More resources at thelieguide.com so that you can improve, and let's escalate and elevate our brand as interviewers as professional. So when we come under judicial review, the challenge always comes up that we're consistent, professional every single time. Good to be with you. See you back with tip number 47. Until then, this is Stan Walters. Be safe.